Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here today with a familiar face. We've talked to him before, John Diorio, who's the Senior Vice President of Sales for Virgin Voyages. And as you know, a lot's been going on with Virgin Voyages, even very recently. So we're going to talk to John about all that and a whole lot more on Insider Travel Report. First of all, John, great to see you. We have our ships are sailing in opposite directions there, but I got Brilliant Lady, and you got, I think, Scarlet Lady
Got
there.
Scarlett. Yes, good to see you, James. Obviously, thrilled to be connected with you again. I know our paths are gonna cross a lot in the coming
Yeah, I
months.
know we're going to be hanging out together for the next month or so. I think that's where it's going. Different
There could be
conferences.
worse things to do, I guess.
No, there's definitely. I always enjoy seeing you at these conferences. Anyway, first of all, let's talk a
Yeah.
little bit about. You just made a big announcement that your new Brilliant Lady will join the Virgin Voyages fleet
Yes.
next year as the fourth ship in the fleet. Will she? Is she going to be similar to your three other ships? I believe so. But what might be different about it?
Yeah, there's definitely some nuances. I think for Brilliant Lady, we were really excited back on May 1st to announce what we were planning to do with Brilliant Lady. And if you haven't seen the video on Virgin Voyages, we have a great 26-minute video that really talks about the how we are going to launch this particular ship. We haven't had that true opportunity to launch the ship in the true Virgin style. We think about the other three lady ships that we had to take during a different time of the world. But yeah, Brilliant Lady is obviously our fourth lady ship. They're all very similar. There is a few little nuance differences. We like to say Brilliant Lady is just a tiny bit tucked in a little bit,
Right.
which allows that ship to actually be Panama Canal compliant,
Oh,
which
right.
sure we'll talk about, but it opens up a slew of possibilities to bring our beautiful ship all over the place. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, well, I was on your very first one, and each one you make obviously you're making improvements and seeing what works and what doesn't work, and now you got Brilliant Lady now. And actually, let's talk about that because you mentioned it. Where will Brilliant Lady start sailing, and where will she cruise initially on her North American tour? In fact, you mentioned Panama Canal is
Yeah.
one of, but you got other destinations as well, right?
Yeah, we're looking at Brilliant Lady as a way to unlock the brand in some places where, we haven't seen the ship before. Now, obviously, we've had Scarlet Lady in New York before, but more importantly, we're bringing Brilliant Lady to New York City. We're going to have a couple days there, some preview events, a whole bunch of things we're going to plan for sailors and, of course, our beloved first mates. But September 5th is actually her very first mermaiden voyage
Mhm.
out of Miami. And the way we think about the mermaidens, James, is we actually are going to have four of them. So
Mhm.
New York is the first one on September 5th. We've got Miami on October 17th, and then we have Los Angeles on April 7th. And
Wow.
then the fourth one will be Alaska.
Yeah,
Uh,
I noticed that. That's great. That's
that's
this
going to
is
be
your
amazing.
first time in Alaska, right?
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, I'm sure. But yeah,
Okay.
that'll be in May of 2026. So as we think about what we did on May 8th, we launched the three Mermaiden voyages. We also launched all the voyages out of New York. So we think about New York, we're going to have the ship there for a little bit. We've got a couple 5-night voyages going to Bermuda. We take the ship up to Quebec, and then we obviously have in like the New England area. And then there's a 13-night voyage that repositions her from Quebec City down to Miami. And on the way down there, we're hitting places like Charleston, South Carolina as well. So it allows the ship to be seen in some great, great destinations that we've never brought the ship to before.
No, and it really is going to showcase that ship.
Yeah.
If you as a travel advisor haven't seen one, which is hard to believe, this is a chance you're going to get to see with Brilliant Lady. Now,
Well,
uh,
it's also it takes time too. I mean, everyone when we announced it, everyone's like, "Hey, how do we get in the ship in Charleston?" I'm like, "Let us worry about that a year from now." but the excitement, the one thing I will say, when we are in these new destinations, if as an advisor or a first mate you want to see our lovely ships, we obviously ask that you are fully trained. That's one of our vetting process. So get through that Sea Academy Gold training program.
Yeah, and hopefully you're getting a lot of pickup on that, and more people are going to be trained
Oh,
in
we
how
are.
to
Oh,
sell Virgin Voyages. Now, yeah, we did want to talk about a little bit about Alaska, as you mentioned. Is
yeah.
this your first time up there? And I think the tickets that it just went on sale. The sailings are for to Alaska went on sale, I think, on May 8th, right?
Yeah, so what we did was May 8th, we put the Mermaidens on sale, the itineraries out of New York, the itineraries out of Los Angeles. There are three itineraries there, and of course, the Panama Canal voyage, which we can come back to and talk about as well. But what we put on sale for Alaska was basically a front of the line pass. So you
Okay.
can put a deposit down, and when we open up the sailings, which will be later this summer, if you're one of those that has that early deposit, there's going to be about a week's advance notice where you can book before anybody else. And so that's what went on sale on May 8th. It's really just
Okay.
the ability to get in line for when we put Alaska on sale later this summer.
Wow, and that's going to be amazing. Are you doing Alaska any differently, maybe than some of the other folks, or what
Oh, we're that's what we're looking at. How do we put that virgin twist
Mhm.
going to Alaska? So obviously it's a beautiful part of the country, and obviously some other great lines go there for years. And so we're trying to figure out how do we make ours just a little bit different with that virgin flair. And so we're working through all those itineraries and opportunities as we speak. So coming soon.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to it because Virgin Voyages always does that interesting twist, and that's absolutely
We try.
what you're known for. It's a very different kind of cruise line.
Well, what's
Uh,
interesting, James, is that we've these itineraries, going to Alaska was really from a lot of feedback from our existing sailors and our first mates. Like, where do you think these ships should go as we introduce the fourth ship? And so, obviously, with Brilliant, she can go through the Panama Canal, and why not showcase her on the West Coast? It's San Francisco, Oregon, Seattle. And so, a lot of great opportunities.
Absolutely. Now, you've also recently launched some other sort of innovative programs and offers. You talked about the Alaska sort of front of the line deposit, but I think you have something called Brilliant for You Pass as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, this really came out of some of the success we saw over the summer with our summer pass, where you could actually stay on um, in Barcelona for a whole month and work from sea. And
I
we,
like that idea. I
yeah,
would have
it worked
done
out well. It worked out.
that.
But for this, it was you can get yourself booked on in one of our suites and on all four Mermaidens, and it was very, very limited, and that went over like hotcakes. I think we almost sold them all, which is good to see. So yeah, I did. I think there's just a lot of demand on being on those exclusive first time voyages, right? Even if you go back to even the Panama Canal voyage, when we went live on May 8th, that was probably our biggest selling voyage that entire day. And, large in part thanks to our first mates out there that were really promoting it the week ahead of time, getting their sailors excited. And we have had an amazing week of bookings so far for Panama Canal, more than meet our expectation.
Well, that's great. And those two destinations combined, Panama Canal and Alaska. I mean, boy, everybody they're going to line up to see how Virgin to do it the Virgin Voyages way,
Yeah.
because we all know these destinations. But I think you're going to, as we said earlier, you're going to have a very different twist on all of these things.
We will. And I think, it's interesting that Panama Canal voyage, it's a 16-night voyage, March 21st of 2026. And it's just got some great stops. We're going to Panama, obviously, Costa Rica, Cabo, Cartagena, Colombia.
Oh, wonderful.
Listen, it's 16 nights. You got to have that time off. But just based on what we've seen the past week, there is such a big demand for that voyage, and we're excited.
No, and it is exciting to hear about these. Now, where will your other ships be sailing in 2025? You got Scarlet Lady, Valiant Lady, Resilient Lady. I understand Valiant Lady will be returning to the Caribbean out of San Juan for its third season, right?
Yeah, so the way we thought about, which also went live on May 8th, was all of our 25, 26 through winter 26. So Scarlet Lady went on sale through April. So did Valiant Lady. Scarlet Lady will be back in Miami that
Hmm.
time of year. If you think about right now, Scarlet Lady is actually in the Med. She'll actually go into dry dock later this year. But by the time she comes back for 25, 26, she'll be back in Miami. Valiant Lady will be doing all of our San Juan itineraries, which is great to see. And then stay tuned. We're going to be announcing where Resilient Lady will be later this month. So I think when you look at the itinerary mix too, James, we've added a lot more unique itineraries, especially for the San Juan season. We
Mhm.
saw the success this earlier this year coming in for to 24, 25, but 7 night, 8 night, 10 night voyages for San Juan, really very popular.
No, absolutely, and understandably so. Now, you also are you're doing some shorter cruises for sort of closer in travel. Can you talk a little bit about those 4 and 5 night getaways out of Miami this year on Valiant Lady?
Listen, Valiant Lady right now is kind of took over that rotation from Scarlet Lady doing the 4 and 5 nights, which is obviously such a great way to introduce your sailors for the first time to our brand. And she's taken over those itineraries, and we're excited about that. Right now, we've got a up to 70% off the second sailor through the end of this month. So listen, we see such great demand, especially for first-time cruisers coming on those 4 and 5 nights. Advisors do a great job of introducing the brand to their customers that way. And we've got some great itineraries coming. One in particular, I will say, on August 30th, we have our celebration voyage. It's a 5 night voyage, but we're doing three of these, all three ships, where Richard Branson will make an appearance on
Oh,
board.
wow.
We have a lot of great entertainment. Boy George will be part of that entertainment
Yeah,
on
we read about that. I thought that sounded like a fantastic for
fun.
it's not Sir Richard's birthday again, is it?
It isn't. I think in Richard, it's his birthday every day, right? I
I
think
know that's right.
full of
With Sir
life
Richard,
like
it is true. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I think they're going to hit all three ships over the course of a week, and so I've invited all the first mates that want to partake in that celebration voyage. I'm going to be on. We've already got a good group of first mates joining me on that voyage. We're going to do some fun things. We look forward to a great voyage later this summer.
And then again, for those 4 and 5 night getaways, you've made some pretty good offers on those cruises. I understand where sailors, which is your guests, can get up to sometimes 70% off if they book by May 30th.
Yeah, it's 70% off the second sailor, especially if you start looking at those voyages as you go into September. It's priced so reasonable right now. And obviously, with our value proposition of including so much more in the voyage fare, they just get such great value when they sail with us. And that's what's interesting is that's one of the number one things and the feedback we get from our sailors is that they feel when they come on board, they're getting more and more value than they've ever thought before.
Mm. No, that's amazing, and I got to go find someone to go with so that they can get 70% off. That's an incredible offer. Now, you do have some other offers for your first mates, travel advisors.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about these offers. I think it involves commissions,
Yeah, listen.
amenities, things like that. Obviously, you have your no NCFs, things like that.
Well, listen, as we think about the partnership with First Mates, we want to be brilliant to do business with them. And so that's always started from day one with having no NCFs. You should get paid on what you're selling. Obviously, we pay a 16% commission on the voyage fare, and of
Mhm.
course, 10% on all pre-voyage sales. So whether that's selling our bar tab, hotel, air, shore things, you name it, we're going to pay you a commission on it because we value the relationship and helping us bring this brand to your sailors. So we're thrilled about that. And like I said, you said it earlier, no NCFs really plays a big part in that. And you can make good money selling our brand.
Absolutely, you got to. I mean, everybody for years, travel advisors complained that they were not getting commission on things sold on board, and you've solved that question,
Yeah.
and really giving them that and more, and it has to be a lucrative sale. So, congratulations on that. That's great for what you're doing for your first mates. Now, the other thing I understand is that you're holding your. We talk about celebrations.
Yeah.
Um, Here's a celebration. You're holding your second annual Eat and Drink Month on all your July sailings.
It
And
is.
is that on all your ships?
Now, all three ships, it's our Eat and Drink Festival. It's a month-long kind of flavor fiesta, as we like to say. And we're doing some really different things on the ship. First off, we're taking our the galley, which is where we have a lot of the pop-up spaces to get some great food throughout your entire voyage. We're going to turn it into a Virgin Voyages Asian night market.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're working with some great chef partners of ours to really create a very kind of unique signature experience in the galley at night. Like we said, we call that the Asian night market. We're taking the test kitchen. We're creating a new tasting menu there. And of course, we'll have different variety of drinks throughout the ship that are customized just for the Eat and Drink Festival in July. So if you got sailors interested in wanting to try something different, obviously the experience on the ship is amazing, but now we're going to put a little twist on some of the eat and drink specialties.
Well, I do remember Test Kitchen was one of my favorite restaurants, and if you're going to even make it even better than that, it's going to be incredible. There's a lot of great food to be found on Virgin ships. Now, let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about. Is there anything else you want to tell our 125,000 travel advisors about Virgin Voyages today? You're obviously your new brilliant lady, and all these great new itineraries, including these destinations you're hitting for the first time, like Panama Canal and Alaska.
Yeah, I think for us, James, for our travel advisors out there, obviously do the Sea Academy training program. It will totally make a big difference in how you learn about the brand, more importantly, how you sell the brand as well. So definitely engage in our Sea Academy training program. Engage with our sales team. We have our sales managers are throughout North America. They work with you where you are, not where your host is or your agency, so that we can get to know you and kind of build that plan to drive bookings. And as you said, Brilliant Lady is now on sale. Scarlet, Valiant, Resilient. We've got all 4 ships ready to go. And obviously, everything you need, you can find on firstmates.com.
Well, that's where my last question would have been. Where do you go? You go to firstmates.com and learn all about that. Or you see John at one of the many conferences that and I attend. So he's on the road as much, if not more than I am. So he's out there in front of you. You can see him in person and walk up to him, say hi, and talk to him about all these wonderful things that are going on with Virgin Voyages. Listen, John, I want to thank you. It's been great to see you, and virtually here, but very soon live in person for a bunch of things over the next month. And it's so great to hear all the wonderful things going on at Virgin Voyages.
Well, we appreciate it. Thanks, James.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.